Hey everybody, welcome back. On today's video, we're going to make a really cool wine bottle wall sconce light. Hey everybody, welcome back. On today's video, we're going to make a wine bottle Hey everybody, welcome back. And in this video, we're going to do a wine bottle wall sconce. It's summertime, or at least it's getting close to summertime. That means more outdoor parties. And when you have outdoor parties, you gotta have decorations. Now, we like to use Tiki lamps, but I figured, why can't we do something very similar with wine bottles? So that's what we're gonna do today, is we're gonna try to do something with a wine bottle that mixes the Tiki lamp with kind of a wall sconce, and it's something that you could probably do at home. So I'm gonna show you the tools you need, and we'll get started. Okay, to start off with, you're gonna need some wood. Now, as you know, and if you've seen my videos, I have pallets all over the place. So I actually have a couple of pieces of pallet that I'm going to use for this project, but you can use anything that you have available. Maybe it's a piece of pine, or it's a piece of plywood, or whatever it is you have, we can make it work. What would really be good is that it's narrow. So a long, narrow piece, at least as tall as your wine bottle, or slightly taller. We're going to need some screws, all right? We're also going to need some glue, need a drill that has a screw bit and also a drill bit to pilot your screws. It'll also be handy if you have a hole saw bit. Now, you can pick these up at any hardware store. You can also pick up maybe a paddle bit. It's just a long flat bit that looks like a paddle. The ideal diameter is roughly 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches. So you want something that the neck of the wine bottle can actually slide up into. Now, because we're doing a wine bottle wall sconce, it would help to actually have a wine bottle. Now, I actually happen to have one here. Unfortunately, it's not open. So we're going to have to open it. Now, one of those tools that you always have to keep in your shop, I happen to always keep one in my car, is a wine bottle opener. You never know when you might have an emergency where you need a wine bottle opener. There have been many times when I have been out at events and someone has been running around with a wine bottle that they can't get open, and I saved them. That was a very important time in my life. Make sure you have a wine bottle opener everywhere you go. It's important. This was a good year. Man, not really. I got a cheap bottle of wine. So we're going to have to go ahead and drink a little bit of this because we need an empty wine bottle by the time we get done. Let's go ahead and get started. Cheers. Okay, one of the first things that you want to do is measure your wine bottle. Now, most wine bottles are about 12 inches high. You want to make sure that your board is at least a few inches higher than that. That way, we have a good solid base to build from. Next, I want to see how wide the wine bottle is. This one is 3 inches. So I'm going to be cutting one of my boards to at least 3.5. I want to have a little bit larger of a board for my wine bottle to sit on. When you need to cut a board, there's a variety of methods that you can use. You've always got the old-fashioned saw. Sometimes it's a little time-consuming if you've got a lot of cuts to make. You've also got a chop saw. And of course, there is the good old trusty jigsaw and circular saws. For this project, I'm just going to use the chop saw. So we've cut a piece for the wine bottle to sit on. Now, this part can be a little tricky because now you want to be able to screw in from the back of your tall board into what your wine bottle is going to sit on. But you don't want to split the wood. So that's where having an extra drill bit would be really handy so that you can drill a pilot hole. And a pilot hole is just a hole that makes it easier for the screw to go in so it doesn't split the wood, which is kind of what we just talked about. Okay, you want to set the piece that the wine bottle is going to sit on about 1 inch from the bottom. Make sure that it's lined up properly. This is when you want to take your drill that has your drill butt on it, and if you have a friend that can offer you a spare hand, this would be the perfect time to do it. So your pilot holes are drilled. Now you want to make sure that you put some glue on there. Be liberal with the glue because you can always wipe it off afterwards. And now you want to screw the two pieces together. So when you're done, you should have a piece that looks like this. And then wipe off that excess glue. We're going to cut the piece for the top. I say let's go ahead and make it the same as the one for the bottom. I did 3.5 inches, so let's go ahead and cut one for 3.5 inches. Okay, for this part, you want to find an edge that you can set the wine bottle holder on so that you can place your wine bottle on and that it will stay in place. Because now we're going to take that fresh cut piece and we're going to set it about 1 inch from the top of the bottle. And with a pen, you want to mark the center of that bottle on your board. Okay, now we have the center mark for where that bottle is going to sit. But now we want to get the center here so we know where to drill our hole. Okay, so now we're going to drill the hole in our top piece, and that's when the hole saw bit comes in. So let's go ahead and put a hole in this piece of wood. The thing with the hole saw is you have this 1/4 inch bit that's going to go through the wood first. This is your pilot hole. Go halfway through, flip the wood, and then drill again, and then it'll look nice. Okay, so once again, put your wine holder on the edge, put your wine bottle on the platform. Now you're going to take your freshly drilled top piece, all right, and that's going to go right over the top of the wine bottle. I would say drop in about 1 inch or so, okay? And then make sure that you mark where that line is. We're going to do the exact same thing that we did with the bottom, is we're going to line this up on the top. We're going to drill some pilot holes, and then we're going to put some screws, and we're going to glue it, and then it's going to sit like this. Let's do that. So now we're going to attach this piece to this piece. We're going to basically go off of our mark and draw a straight line. This is another good tool to have. This is a speed square. This is a plastic one. They also come in metal, but it's a quick way to make a clean 45. All right, so you line it up with your mark, draw yourself a line. Now you know it's straight. This one's going to be a little bit easier because what we'll do is we'll line it up here and we'll be able to sit it straight down there. So now it sits up all by itself. Now we're going to glue it and screw it and drink it. I'm not much of a wine drinker. I'm definitely more of a beer drinker. See the sacrifices I go through for you guys? So there we go. We've got our top piece, we got our bottom piece. I think we're almost done. Woohoo! Okay, so we're going to take a break for a second from this project. This reminds me of a story about red wine. Back in, I would say, the late 80s, I worked with Ringling Brothers Circus as a clown. And one of the things that we did as clowns with Ringling Brothers Circus is we were asked to go over to Japan to do commercials for Borden cheese. I was 19 or so, 19 or 20. At the end of the shoot, we have been invited to go out to dinner with like the directors and producers and the TV crew and the whole 9 yards. So we're at a local Japanese restaurant. As the drinks start to flow, things start to get a little bit loose. All right, in Japan, they say iki, iki, iki. All right, I'm still not even sure what it means. All I know is once you start drinking, you got to drink until you can't drink anymore. So one of the producers stood up and held a beer, made a toast, and all of a sudden, all of his fellow workers started chanting, "Iki, iki." And so he took his beer and he started drinking. And the guy just kept drinking until the beer was done, slammed it on the table. You know, one of the clowns that was there in Japan with us, he stood up and there was a carafe of red wine. Now, he held it in the air and started drinking, and everybody started yelling, "Iki, iki." So, this particular clown drank the entire carafe of red wine right there. All right, so we're all drinking and we're all getting drunk and we're all getting happy, and you know, the party's over and people are starting to leave and we're all getting cabs. And the guy who drank the red wine, we can't find. He had stepped outside and just disappeared. So we all make it back to the hotel. We're back at the hotel and we're still drinking. We're having a great time. Then all of a sudden, you know, the door opens and it's the guy who drank the red wine. And we're thinking, oh my God, where'd you go? Well, he jumped in a cab and it went the wrong direction, blah, blah, blah. So the very next morning, all right, he's laying in the bed, and there probably was 4 of us to a room. And during the night, he apparently released the red wine onto his pillow. And so someone got a picture of him laying on his pillow with this, I would say, aftermath of red wine. And then someone made a t-shirt of it. So that's kind of my red wine story that happened in Japan while we were with the circus. And for those of you who know that story, I have a little bit of wine left to go. We need to finish this. I'll probably finish it at the house because there's a few parts and pieces that I have there to do what I need to do. And we'll see ya. All right, so we've got the wine bottle, and I've actually got some lamp oil in here. One of the problems that you have is trying to get it into the wine bottle. A funnel would probably be great, but I already spilled most of it all over my arm, so now would probably not be a good time to light it. Let's put the topper in and see what happens. All right, so this is the topper. It's a little ceramic piece. It has a little glass insert. All right, I just lost it. All right, that goes right in top there. But what we're gonna have to do is we'll put it here. We'll take this, put it up top. Hang on. All right. Let's see if I can get this back up in this glass tube. I don't know if you can see this, but this is like a little glass tube, and there's the wick. All right, we're gonna see if we can get this back up in there. All right, we're gonna grab that. All right, there we go. See? Okay, now we're gonna take that and we're gonna shove that down in that little hole there. I'm gonna go wash up real quick and then we'll light this thing. Okay, so I think I'm done with this project. Yay! If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more of what's coming up, go ahead and subscribe right up here. If you have something to say, leave me a comment right down below. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and light this puppy up. We're going to go ahead and grab another beer. Oh wait, maybe it should grab a wine.